Hello. Okay. Okay. Welcome to Monday Night Football. Raiders versus Cowboys. Let's get everything set up. All right. Drop any questions in chat while we wait. Hopefully everybody won week 11. We need a big game from Dak Prescott today. We need a big game from Dak Prescott. All right. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody's doing well. Much love to all your teams tonight. The Raiders gonna win. The Raiders were gonna win. We are gonna win. Positive thinking, right? Positive belief. Um, Great, crazy week of football. Uh, Crazy week of results. I would say one of the more backwards or up and down weeks. The main players not scoring as much, like third string wide receivers or uh, backup running backs being the ones to score. Um, so let's recap week 11, shall we? Okay. Quarterback position, Josh Allen, 42-point game, 6 touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns. That's the upside that you get with Josh Allen being able to both run the football and pass. Total 42.68 points in 4-point passing touchdown leagues. Number 1 quarterback. But you look at his team, and James Cook getting his right, expected, but the next names: Tyrell Shavers, Ty Johnson, Gabe Davis. The other ones, uh, are, I guess Gabe Davis didn't really score as much, but Tyrell Shavers and Ty Johnson being the ones to get the points. That is funny. That is crazy. All right, back to everybody. And we had Bryce Young and number 2 setting some records. Gary, how are you? How are you? You need CeeDee to not score 26.02. You got that? I think in most situations, yes. I'm a Raiders fan, so I will be rooting for the Raiders. However, I need a 30-point game from Dak or 26 like you. So we could root for it to go to everybody else, George Pickens and Jake Ferguson. And not a big CeeDee game. So anything's possible. That's pretty big game, but I think you're on the more likely side to win, Gary. I think you're on the more likely side to win, so I think you'll be good. But celebrations, hopefully you win. Much love to your team, Gary. Drop a like if you can. Thanks for letting me know how week 11 is going. Hopefully you make playoffs. Much love to you and your team for you to make playoffs. Everybody, go ahead and drop any thoughts or questions in the chat. We're going over points by points, top quarterbacks. Josh Allen being number 1 this week. Bryce Young being number 2. Bryce Young being number 2. And when it came to the Carolina Panthers, Hetero McMillan finally had his big day that everybody was looking for. 130 yards. Big game. 8 receptions, 12 targets, and 2 touchdowns against Atlanta, who's, if we look at their passing defenses up until that week, was one of the harder matchups. So, looking like he will be, he was good at least through this defense, right? So we'll see if Ted Roa can continue it. We buy homes. Evening, brother. Oh yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Kyron versus Travion Henderson, and Henderson getting you 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns. Kyron still fell into the end zone, but holy smokes, that Travion game. I guess we can go to his stats now that we're bringing him up. But much love to you, brother. Too. Let's see, Travion Henderson. Where did he finish as running back? 3 with 62 yards, 19 carries, 2 touchdowns, 5 receptions, 31 yards, and another touchdowns. 3 total touchdowns. 3 total touchdowns. It's crazy that you know, we look at the top people: Sean Tucker, Christian McCaffrey, Travion Henderson, Bijan Robinson, Kenneth Gainwell. Like, did we expect half these guys to be in the top 5? No, but they did. They did. So congrats to you, We Buy Homes. Much love to you for shouting that out on that call. Much celebrations to your teams. Hopefully you won. We Buy Homes. All y'all, if you could drop a like, much appreciated. Much appreciated. So we got 50-50 game between the Raiders and the Cowboys at half and half. Okay, you ended up flexing Kyron instead of going with Ibuka. Oh, really? Oh, you did end up doing that. Oh, snaps. And then that was, oh yeah, because Ibuka didn't do so well, right? He really didn't do much. Kyron still scored the touchdown. Wow. All right, so that really worked out for you this week, huh? I guess I get it right once in a while. Much love to you though there. Thank you for shouting that out. Thank you for shouting that out. You're right, because we did play uh Kyron over Ibuka. What did Ibuka end up he ended up at Tampa Bay wide receivers 6.5, so 40 yards on 5 receptions. That's right. That is right. That is right. All the points went to the running back, Sean Tucker. Who played Sean Tucker? Probably like nobody, or maybe only like 10% of leagues. The number 1 running back on the week being someone who was probably not started in many leagues. Kenneth Gainwell probably not started in many leagues either, and getting 100 yards and 7 receptions and 2 touchdowns. So that was pretty good too. That was pretty good too. But congrats again, We Buy Homes. Congrats again. July says you're worried about Rashi in week 17 since it's Broncos. I mean, yes, yes. Uh, I, I guess you could say. Hold on, let me pull this up while we talk about this. Like that's tough, and I know that they just played right now, right? But it will be at Arrowhead, because it was just at Denver, right? So that is a one change. So if we look at the rest of the schedule, Colts probably a good matchup, Cowboys probably a good matchup. Texans might be a tough matchup, but then Chargers, Titans, good matchups. So yeah, championship week against the Broncos. It's gonna be tough. But I mean, like, who are you playing instead though, July, right? Like, is there I'm not sure if you have another option. Uh, but that gets you to. I mean, maybe your week championship week's 18. Most people's are 17, right? So championship week Broncos. That is a tough matchup. But it's just like who would you be playing? Instead, I guess is the question. Um, because it's kind of hard to say. Sit him. Maybe just temper expectations. I would say. Or like that's how I would look at it. I would just temper my expectations and play the low end of the range of his expectations and then build my rest of my roster around that based on the matchup, you know, and dynamics of what happens. You were wondering if you should trade him away for Amon Ra or something. Um, I guess you could consider that, but just looking at his schedule, like I mentioned, he only has one tough matchup besides the Broncos, which is the Texans. So, you know, if you're looking at schedule on the whole, right? It's like to get somebody like Amon Ra or Puka or equal value to Rashi, you're gonna be giving him, but um, we don't know if the other person would want to even take that, right? Um, like I I think you might be okay keeping. I would say, right? I would say you'd be okay keeping. Um, and uh, if we really look at Amon Ra, right? I don't know if I, I I don't know if his schedule's better. So I'm pulling it up as we speak. Hold on, sorry, just give me a sec. So Giants good game next week. Packers tough matchup. Cowboys good matchup. Rams decently tough matchup. Steelers good. Vikings could be a coin flip. So I guess Amon Ra has just this tough, if not, I would say even a tougher of a schedule um, than uh, and the other thing too with Amon Ra is Jared Goff. His splits at home or in weather versus not weather is also something to consider, right? Rashi Rice's schedule was pretty good, so like, there's very few receivers at that caliber, right? Though your only other ones that you're looking at might be like Jamar Chase, who might get suspended for a game after spitting on a Jalen Ramsey, right? And then maybe like Puka Nakua, um, maybe what's his name, JSN. But like to get these guys, like I don't know if people would be willing to trade one for one Rashi for JSN. Some and uh, you can always try, uh, but if you look at Rashi's schedule for the rest of the year, it's not bad. We look at the Seahawks, JSN is probably. I doubt the JSN owner is going to go one for one for Rashi, right? Um, so if you're targeting Amon Ra because that person is willing to trade, yes, you can make it, but you also have to look at each person has their pros and cons with their team dynamics. Um, and while Denver is a scary defense, uh, he still got 6 receptions, Rashi, right, in the game. The yardage wasn't crazy. So maybe just if you're looking at like bumping him down to like flex expectations in that week or your wide receiver too, that's something to consider. Okay, you're talking to a teammate, and we buy homes. I'll get to you real quick in a second. I was talking to his 4-6 teammate about Rashi and James Cook for Jamar and Monty. You're 10-1 now with Gibbs and Jacobs as your running back, so you're thinking about it. Um, so you're thinking about it, but Wait, to get Jamar and Monty, where if you have Gibbs and Jacobs, what I'm worried about in your situation is the running back, right? If I'm interpreting this correctly, like you need to be able to stack Gibbs plus James Cook, because if Jacobs is hurt for an extended period of time, um, which we're still not sure yet, I don't think, are we? Um, I wouldn't want to rely on that depth to Monty versus James Cook. Uh, like Gibbs and Monty versus Gibbs and James Cook is a lot different. Um, so that's so you have Emmanuel Wilson. So Emmanuel Wilson, like, here's the thing to me. All right, here's the thing to me about handcuffs is like, even if the handcuff is, let's say, the backup and is gonna get the full workload, I think I would still rather have the original number one from the other team. So in your specific situation, I would still rather have James Cook stacked with Gibbs than Emmanuel Wilson with Gibbs if Jacobs were out. And the difference between Rashi to Chase, let's look at Chase's schedule, right? Is Patriots might be good. Ravens might be Ravens are iffy. So he has a decent schedule. He's got Ravens twice. Um, Bills are probably the tough. Dolphins might be okay. Cardinals might be okay, and then Patriots will be good. So Jamar has a decently favorable schedule. It's still kind of tough, but yeah, remember that Jamar Chase is probably going to get suspended for a game. I don't know if that's going to be this next game or the week after, but if you're 10-1, you'll probably make the playoffs. Um, let's let's keep talking about this, but for me personally, I don't think stepping up that to lose James Cook as the backup running back or flex value is worth it for me, because even if Jacobs is healthy, I'd rather have that Gibbs Jacobs Cook stack in depth than give that away to upgrade from Rashi to Jamar. That feels too much, because in this situation, to me, Monty is not a reliable starter. I hope that makes sense, July. Let's keep talking, but let me get to We Buy Homes real quick, and I'll get right back to you. Much love, much love. Drop a like, everybody, if you can. Standard League. Let's drop a like if you can, please. Standard League. Start one. Diggs versus Cincinnati. Jetta versus Green Bay. Buka versus Ram. Or T. Higgins versus New England without Chase. You're welcome. You're welcome, July. Much appreciate you too. Drop a like if you can. Much appreciated. So in a standard league, you can only start one. How are you so crazy deep at wide receiver, my guy? This is a great problem to have. Can you can you consolidate these to something? Holy smokes. How do you have four of these guys and you can only start one? So in the standard league, we're looking for the touchdown, right? Um, let's see. 10-team league. Still, that's still really good. Yeah, okay, so T. Higgins without Chase does look nice. Buka versus the Rams or Jetta versus Green Bay. I think for sure I'm sitting Jetta in this situation just because you have so many other good options. Um, I think I'm moving off that. Uh, Diggs, you know, I feel like that's a great matchup and a good situation, but comparatively to the other value there, I would have to feel like I'd have to sit just because, you know, all things the same, to me, there's more game scripts of going away from Diggs just because they have so many ways of being creative with the football in New England that they just, Drake May throws it to the open man. Mac Hollins could be Mario Douglas, versus I would say T. Higgins and Buka in these situations for me. You're looking at more so the one who's going to be looked at with the biggest target share in the red zone for sure, or the high value targets, right? So, okay, let's go Buka versus Rams or T. Higgins versus New England. Man, that's close. That is very close. Just because like T. Higgins is on such a roll right now, Buka came off that down game. Man, I want to say Ibuka so bad, but then like the other part of me is just saying like, but what about T Higgins? It's just like jumping in the background. Let me look at the who has the home courts and stuff. So, okay, Bucks are away, so that is in the dome of SoFi. Well, enclosed. Bengals is at home. It's at Cincinnati, so possible weather. What are the over unders? Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. I think I'm gonna go with Ibuka. And the last thing that pushed me over the edge on that one was just the fact that um while Flacco has been amazing, right? While he has been amazing, don't get me wrong. When we're looking at like total points scored and things like that, while Flacco has been amazing, and while the Rams didn't score 1,000 points this last week, it was against the Seahawks, right? Who are a good defense. And I just have a feeling that, if you look at what the Bucks did versus the Bills this week, right? That's, 70 points in the game, or how Panthers Falcons had like 60 points in the game. I envision that more so possible between the Rams. Uh but I could be wrong. It could just as well be Joe Flacco having a great game. But it that's so close. But I'm just gonna lean Ibuka there to just on the get right. But if this is a coin flip for me, so if you just have a better feeling, go with your gut, right? Go with T Higgins or go with whoever if you have a better gut call. But that's how I'd have it. T Higgins could get Christian Gonzalez shadow. That is that is true. You know, it's weird because like the quarters for New England are good. Uh their slot and then this guy Christian, right? But they give up a lot of points through the receiving game, which is really like it's kind of weird. So I haven't dug too far into the stats, but it maybe something like where they take away the number one wide receiver and then the number two and the tight end or whatever get it. But I would say the Rams, or New England's defense, both of them have their good pros and cons. Um, I'm just more feeling like the Rams offense is just slightly more reliable. That you would be in a negative game script in that scenario versus the other. So I hope that makes sense. Deborah, how are you? Ashton, Jeanty, or George Pickens? Um, I guess in your matchup, I'm not sure if you're coming from behind or if you are ahead right now. I would say you know both are pretty good plays, but in a situation where I am projected to win, I would take the Like, because this is the last day of football for the week, right? And if I'm ahead right now by, like, let's say 10 points, and my opponent has a player and I have this player, I'm taking the running back Jeanty, right? But like if I am, let's say, down, 20 points, uh, and I need to score those 20 points, I would probably pick uh Pickens based on the uh matchup and potential game scripts. But Jeanty is getting good usage these past weeks, so if you feel that that is worthwhile, then go for it. But when in this situation, it is a very close coin flip. So it's just the running back is typically the more safe play, right? Because they're guaranteed to touch the ball when they carry it. But when you need to swing for major upside or a big number because you're playing from down, uh, typically the wide receiver can hit more in this situation when the running back in the Raiders, I'm a Raiders fan, but we're projected to be playing from behind, so the running back carries less value in that game script. So it kind of depends on what you're going for. So hopefully that helps you. Let me know if or if not. Drop a like if you can. But hopefully you win your week. Um, we got the games getting started here, so let's see what we got going. I need a 30-point game or like a 26-point game or something like that from Dak Prescott. Um, so yeah, let's see what is going on. We got the game getting started. Uh, and we got the Raiders going on the 31-yard line, finding Brock Bowers for a gain of about 20. They are now at midfield. So Raiders taking this drive here. Raiders taking the drive here. Um, so we just had Geno Smith hitting Brock Bowers for a first down. And we got under center, Ashton Jeanty handoff swallowed up in the backfield. It's going to be second down after a loss. So Cowboys, everybody's got the Cowboys in the lead right now for who will win this game. This is at Raiders Stadium in Las Vegas, so this is inside a dome. Whether or not a factor in this game where we saw the effects of weather a lot this last week in football. Not many good quarterback scores, not many good wide receiver scores this week. Wind was a huge factor. And we have second down, Trey Tucker getting hit on about 4 yard 4 yard pass on the sideline, tackled in bounds. It's going to be third down and manageable, maybe about third down and 5, or about at midfield here. Third down and 7. We're about midfield right here. Shotgun formation, Jeanty and Brock Bowers in motion. Third and 7. And we got Geno going under center, directing, killing the play. 6 seconds on the play clock. Shotgun snapped, dropping back, looking, stepping up, breaking a sack, getting the ball away. Pass is caught, but short of the first down, about 3 or 4 yards to the Tyann Mayer, and it'll be fourth down. Fourth down, us Raiders, we are past midfield, but it'll be fourth and about 3 in a no man's land, so they might go for it on fourth down since we're a little too far for a field goal attempt. Fourth and 6. All right, no, we're taking the punt here. So no scoring on the first drive here. We got the Raiders punting off, and we'll see if this is a good punt or not. The punt got down within the 5 yard line, so the Cowboys will have a full field to take here in order to score. All right, we got a couple key players playing tonight. We got some people in the community needing CeeDee Lamb not to score. We got someone myself playing Dak Prescott needing a huge game, needing a big game here. So hopefully we can get the points going, but to not CeeDee Lamb, or just a little bit to CeeDee Lamb, and a lot of to everywhere else. Um, but that means the Raiders will have to score, so gonna have to turn that offense a bit around there. Raiders gonna have to be able to turn that a bit around. We Buy a Home says, would you drop BTJ, Aaron Jones, or Benson for Hampton? Oh, someone dropped him on waivers in our league. Oh, man. Oh, that is tough. I think so. And you can correct me if your personality is different. But for me personally, and this is someone coming who had BTJ and truly believes he's a great athlete and a great football player. But even if BTJ was healthy, let's say next week, what is it going to take for you to feel comfortable starting him? Is the question. And how do you feel if he does well, but you know, then you start him and he doesn't do well? Are you going to be mad, or how are you going to feel about that? And for me personally, I don't know if I could trust him for this season. That's just how I feel. Is like we got what, 3 games left before the playoffs, and then we have the playoffs, right? So for me to trust him, I feel like he would have to play good in like 2 back-to-back weeks. But even then, am I gonna feel confident starting him? Uh, that's kind of the question I would have for you. Um, Aaron Jones in a complete, you know, you have ample depth everywhere is probably like the lowest on the totem pole, but running backs are a commodity kind of, right? And running backs could get injured at any time, so I feel like it's always worth to have more of that. So if you already had like 3 or 4 serviceable wide receivers and BTJ is just kind of collecting dust, for me, the question is, would you ever feel comfortable starting him? And if the answer is yes, then maybe, dropping Aaron Jones is probably the lowest person on the totem pole. Um, Maybe you could argue Trey Benson because of the injury and things. But you know, uh, he's he's got the upside from what's it called, the unknown factor. You kind of know what Aaron Jones is, and his ceiling is kind of what it is, right? He's kind of that like safe range running back. But Benson could potentially have a higher ceiling, so he might be worth it. For me, I probably honestly, I hate to say this, but I, the trade deadline might be up in your league, right? But I think it almost makes more sense to trade. Well, was there a fumble? There was a fumble. I'm not sure exactly what happened. There was a fumble. All right. What happened? Oh, he made Dak fumble it. Max Crosby. Max Crosby causing a fumble. Causing the fumble. But yeah, we buy Holmes. I would for sure drop somebody for Hampton. Um, because Hampton has the most upside out of all of them, I would say, right? Um, and for me, if I had serviceable wide receivers, I would drop BTJ because I'm not gonna like, in the range of outcomes. Um, you know, let's say you had like a Michael Pittman or somebody. Are you gonna like sit somebody, Chris Olave? Are you gonna sit somebody like that for BTJ? Probably not, right? Or at least that's how I feel about how I do it. You feel the same way about BTJ. He's been underwhelming, and I'm sure that this will be his season, unfortunately. Yes, exactly. That's exactly how I feel. I think like one next season, click the restart button. I'm okay starting fresh and over with him. Maybe not top 10 wide receiver projected like he was, but top 15 or top 20, I still can believe in his talent and ability. But yeah, like you said, like this season is like even if you have two good games, man, in a row, it's like I'm not gonna feel confident starting you for my championship week, right? That's gonna feel kind of scary. Um, so yeah, pick up Hampton for sure though. Most upside. 3rd and 12 for the Raiders. After the fumble on Dak Prescott, which means I'm in the negative points now. Awesome. Geno Smith firing for the end zone. Oh, he had Trey Tucker open, but missed it. It's going to be a field goal here. So Crosby getting them the fumble, strip sack fumble, and no touchdown here. Oh man, so close there for you, Crosby, but you got field goal range, 35-yard attempt. Here we go. And kick is up. And kick is good. The kick is good. So the Raiders first to get onto the board here because a strip fumble sack for Max Crosby, stripping the ball out from Dak Prescott. Fumble recovered by the Raiders. 3 quick downs, nothing there. And then field goal is good. So the Raiders will be up 3-0 against the Cowboys. So already starting from behind, negative points. Not good. Not good. Um, let's see. So updating the score. Man, the Broncos beat the Chiefs yesterday. I did not think that was going to happen, if I'm being honest. Did not think that was going to happen. And then the Buccaneers Bills game was crazy. Buccaneers Bills game was crazy. It was like scoring every drive or close to every drive. You know, touchdowns left and right. Big play after big play. It was crazy. So many lead changes. So much back and forth. It's a good game. It's a good game. Jacoby Brissett breaking records last night. I don't know if anyone saw that, but Jacoby Brissett breaking records last night for most completions in an NFL game ever, I believe, was the exact stat. So shout out Jacoby Brissett. Oh, oops. Wrong one. I updated the wrong picture. My bad, guys. All right, there it goes. 3-0. You have Dak and Daniel Jones in your league. Should you roll with them rest of the season or pick up Purdy off waivers for one of them? All right, so this for me comes 100% down to schedule. So if we gotta look at the schedules here, and what's the word? I am not, tied to any one of these guys more so than the other. Um, just because like all situations that they're in, like projected to score points, right? Um, so it comes all down to schedule for me. So if we look at Dallas first, Eagles, Cowboys, Lions, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders. Okay. So he has kind of a tough schedule. Cowboys rest of the season. Um Colts, let's see, the Chiefs, Texans, Jags, Seahawks, 49ers, Jags. Okay, so Jones has a tough one too, and Jones's splits is more so on the home court advantage, and he has half and half. And then the 49ers have the Panthers, the Browns, the Titans, the Colts, the Bears. Okay, so Purdy has probably the best schedule. Um, and in the game that Purdy has tough matchups, which would be the Browns, would be the third week of the 30th. So do the Colts. Cowboys has the best. Yeah, so I guess what is your temperature check between Dak and Daniel Jones? I think, both of those guys are good, but they both have tough schedules, and Purdy's schedule looks a little bit better. Um, but don't forget that Purdy still has to do his bye, I believe, right? Um, so that has to that can play somewhat into the decision. Um, but you know, I would say, if you feel better on one of the other Daniel Jones versus Dak, then yeah, keep one of them and then go for Purdy because Purdy uh gets to play in the playoff stretch, the Titans, the Colts, and then the Bears, right? Panthers. The only hard game is really the Browns, I would say. Um, but it's kind of the opposite for the other two. Um, so not sure if you like one of the two versus the other between Dak or Jones. One, two, three, four home games for Dak. One, two, three home games for Jones. So I think I would keep Dak. If Dak does well in this game or looks good enough, I would go Dak and Purdy then. Um, but if you feel, differently, go ahead and keep differently. But I kind of like Purdy's rest of season schedule. So that's what I would say. Hopefully that helps or makes sense. We buy homes. RGQ, how are you? You have Drake May and Lamar. Would I be okay trading Lamar for Drake London even with the injuries? So I have Drake London, and what I can say is that what is scary about that Drake London's situation is not only his injury, field goal up and field goal is good. Game is tied 3-3 for the Cowboys. What's hard about that is not only is Drake London injured, but Michael Penix is potentially season ending injury, right? And Kirk Cousins is awful. He's been awful. Um so that concerns me. They did say Drake London's injury just seems like it won't is week to week. So allegedly, right? So I kind of don't like that. If I was gonna do that, I would try to hit the one that maybe you know is the health is more um the health is more solid. Like anybody with 3 or 4 wide receivers. Oh yeah, Jamar Chase is suspended, right? Um so if another person needs a quarterback, right, I think I would even be okay moving down a couple spots even to like, Devonte Adams, Abuka, you know, that range if I needed the wide receiver, right? I don't think you're gonna get JSN or Puka. You can always try. Amon-Ra St. Brown, maybe you could try. Right. Jamar Chase, since he's suspended, maybe you could try T. Higgins. I'm okay trying some of the other names in that range because not only is Drake London's injury uh scary, but also Michael Penix, that's all of Drake London's top 5 value have come with Penix. So hopefully that makes sense. RGQ, drop a like if you can. Let me know if you disagree, or what you're thinking. But much love. We buy home says Joe Burrow and JD5 are on waivers also if they ever come back. Well, those guys are on the waiver if they ever come back. Yeah. Yeah, then you can play roulette with the quarterbacks then, right? You can take your shots because you can take your shots and then if you're wrong, just don't be tied to any of them, right? And be willing to drop them for Joe Burrow or whatever. So I think I think it's fine rotating those quarterbacks. I wouldn't be tied to any of them if, like you said, if there's JD5 and if Jaden Daniels or Joe Burrow's on the waiver, for sure, for sure. CeeDee Smitty, how are you? You got offered Diggs and Tracy for Ibuka and Manungai. Should you take it? I want the Ibuka and Manungai side on that trade. So I'm not sure uh which side of it you're on. Um, so if you are getting Diggs and Tracy, I would not take it. Ibuka is the best player in this trade, right? So that's the anchor to me in the values of the trade, especially when it goes 1-1 for 1-for-1, right? So like you would get Ibuka, I would do it. If you would get Ibuka, I would do that. I would do that for sure, for sure. 100% I would do that. Ibuka is the best player in the trade, so the value of the trade is anchored off of that name, right? Especially because it's one wide receiver and one running back for one wide receiver, one running back. So it's equal value, right? So Ibuka anchors the value of the trade value. Then you look at the person underneath, and the difference between Tracy to Mungai is not different, right? If Tracy's name were, let's say, like, I don't know, Rico Dowdle, right? Or somebody up there more, then it would be more close. But Ibuka is by far the best name in that trade, so I take that. Great trade there, Smitty. Great trade. Much love to you. Drop a like if you can. But much love. Celebrations. Take that trade, Smitty. Smash that trade button. Smash that like button too. Let me know if anything else. Josh, how are you? Good day. Happy Monday. Trade JSN and Theo Johnson for Kittle and one of CeeDee or Rice. You need a tight end since Kraft dropped. Do you let go of JSN for that? All right. There's a lot going on here. This is actually a really good question. Just give me a sec to kind of digest my thoughts here. So JSN has not had his bye yet, I don't think, right? And Kittle, the other piece of value that you are looking for, has not had his bye as well. So just keep that in mind, right? I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong too, but I believe they have not had their bye. Theo Johnson, value is still fluctuating with the big question mark because he's had some good games, but the quarterback situation has been roulette. Let me look up his stats real quick. Theo Johnson. So he had his okay, he's getting around 5, 10, 10, 3, 14. So yeah, very up and down. Does not feel safe usage there. JSN is right now the best wide receiver in football by a decent margin. Puka was there until he got injured. But let me narrow this down. 2025 season to wide receivers. So he is a point per game ahead of Puka, and 3 points ahead of like the next people, 2 to 3. Um, I think that's close. Um, I think that is close, and I think it's fair, right? So, without knowing the rest of the dynamics of the team, I can say that that is a fair trade, and you probably can end up getting the more end of the value of this. Um, what I mean by that is, you know, yes, JSN plus Theo could theoretically be higher, but you're getting enough value on the other side where it's probably even more that that person is overpaying for JSN. Um, so I think that is fair. The last thing I'm gonna check real quick are all of their rest of season schedules. Uh, all things the same, right? So we got Seahawks, San Francisco, Dallas, and Chiefs, right? So Rashi Rice, his schedule, Colts, Cowboys, Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos. So he has a decent schedule, just a tough championship week is what we kind of talked about. Kittle has a bye, but he plays the Panthers, the Browns, Titans, Colts, Bears. So Kittle's should have a pretty good schedule. Seahawks have Titans, Vikings, Falcons, Colts, Rams, Panthers. So that schedule's up and down, and CeeDee has Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders. Yeah, I think that's fair value in terms of CeeDee or uh Rashi. You know, you could take this game to kind of look at the usage, I guess, to see one last piece of data point on CeeDee Lamb and see which one you like. Take a look at both of their rest of uh season schedules, and I guess what I'll say is that you know I think both of them have decent schedules. It's just which one do you want more? The one with uh the better playoff schedule, probably CeeDee, or the one with the better rest of season, which would possibly be Rashi. Um, so up to you on which one. I think it's a fair trade though, Josh, right? Um, not sure if there's other tight ends in the waiver wire that to be streaming with Theo Johnson, but that's a fair trade in the sense of like you're not getting ripped off for JSN, they're paying up. So yes, you definitely could do that. Um, you definitely could do that. Hope that makes sense, Josh. Let me know if or if not. Drop a like if you can. Much appreciated. All right, so we got two field goals for the Raiders, one field goal for the Cowboys. George Pickens just got the Cowboys to midfield after a completion. Dak dropping back, scrambling out, firing, finding Pickens again for another first down. Uh, two completions in a row to George Pickens. Yes, those are fair trades. Take them. Drop any questions in chat. All right, Cowboys winning 2/3 of the votes. All right, we got the Cowboys running the ball up the middle after George Pickett's first down. They ran it up the middle, 5 yards. We got 2nd and 5 coming up. 35 seconds left in the first quarter. Score is 3-6. All field goals so far. Here we go. Dak under center. Handoff again. Javonte Williams getting the first down into the red zone. There you go. This will bring it down to the end of the first quarter. So, great questions, guys. Great questions. Let's see. While we wait for this to come back, let's get these scores updated and the spotlight. So we got the game is now 3-6. No more Europe games. No more Europe games this year. It's all here in the US now. No more waking up early for those early morning games on Sunday. Wrapping up, getting close to the end of the fantasy football regular season, which means our playoffs are coming up soon. So, looking at the rest of the season schedule, it's big thing, big thing, especially as mentioned, trying to mention it weekly in streams to look at weather. But as we move further and further into winter, towards winter, that's going to play more and more of a factor. And I think this week was an excellent example of how much weather can affect the NFL. Um, so Let's see. Where is that? Scoring leaders, quarterbacks this week. Yeah, after there's only 3 players in 20 points, 20-point quarterbacks this week. Everything went through more so the run game. The wide receivers, not that many standouts. A lot of good middle usage. Most of the points went through the running backs. All right, here we go. Here we go. Inside the red zone, 18-yard line, taking the snap, dropping back, 1st and 10 for the end zone. George Pickens, catch out of bounds though. They're saying he was out of bounds. He caught it with one hand. Pickens is making some crazy catches. He had him. Here it goes, 2nd and 10. Dallas, 2nd and 10. Wow, CeeDee Lamb wide open in the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown. Dak to CeeDee Lamb. Touchdown. 18-yard touchdown for CeeDee Lamb. Moving him in through the slot. Looking like he's going straight down, and the zone coverage just fell asleep. Safety just fell asleep. And Dak Prescott hitting CeeDee Lamb for a touchdown. All right. There you go. There you go. Extra point is good. Dak Prescott hitting CeeDee Lamb for a touchdown. Just walking it in. Cowboys with the first touchdown of the night. Hopefully the Raiders can come back and score here. Let's get a good drive together, Raiders, and score a good touchdown real quick. Together some good plays. Breakaway touchdown or something. couple good plays. I know we've been getting some field goals, but let's turn it into a touchdown. Let's hit the pay dirt. Be good to hit the pay dirt this drive. All right, updating the score here. Most people think the Cowboys will win. But no, the Raiders are going to win. The Raiders will win. We need Geno Smith and Brock Bowers to have that magic again. We need that magic. 5.16. All right. Almost updated. Everything is almost updated. There it goes. So Dak Prescott is updated. We need 27 points. Oh man. Means the Raiders have to be able to score here. Need some pace in this game. Some points scored. All right, so we got the Raiders. The Raiders. Taking over. So here comes the kickoff. Here comes the kickoff. Kickoff is up. Running back to the 31-yard line. So here comes the Raiders. All right, here it goes. Here we go with the 31-yard line, shotgun formation. Geno Smith taking the snap. Ashton Jeanty making the block. Geno Smith running for it. Sliding, gaining of about 8. Got 7. So it will be 2nd and 3 for the Raiders. 2nd and 3. Hopefully we can get some good fireworks going here. Get some good offense moving. Everybody moving the football. We just had a good touchdown by CeeDee Lamb, so let's see some good offense here. Here we go. First down. Handoff to Raheem Mostert. So we got a first down for the Raiders. Raiders get in a first down. Good first down there. Brock Bowers is in. Raheem Mostert was in. Let's see if they got Jeanty back in or if they still have Mostert. Got Jeanty in, I believe. And fakes the handoff, play action, and passes off. 2nd and 10. Geno Smith. Geno Smith. Geno Smith. Little short on that pass to Tucker. All right, shotgun formation, delayed handoff, space up the middle, and Jeanty gets the first down. Good run there for Ashton Jeanty. Hopefully he can get some usage. Let's go. Let's go, Raiders. Let's go. All right. First down after a delayed handoff to Jeanty goes for a little more than 10. About 11 yards. So here we go. 1st and 10 across midfield are the Raiders. First down, 1st and 10. Here it goes under center. Play action. Dropping off to Jeanty, but missed it. Missed it. TS, how are you? Will Jake Ferguson get a couple catches tonight? You just need a couple for a few yards. Yeah, dude, he should definitely get a couple catches. I think, the last drive it was kind of bigger play, hitting George Pickens and CeeDee, but Jake Ferguson, even though he's 3rd on that totem pole, he's still gonna get some targets. So I imagine you'll be able to win. Should be able to get a few receptions and maybe hopefully maybe even a touchdown for you. But he's a good release valve for Dak Prescott. So I think you'll get it. I think you'll get it. I will pray for you. Much love, TS. Hopefully you end up winning on maybe on this next drive even. So much appreciated. Drop a like if you can. Hopefully you win this week. All right, we got 3rd and 19 after a sack. Geno Smith looking, nobody firing, and broken up. Nothing there. Nothing there. So the Raiders drive stalls out. The Raiders drive stalls out. After the sack, it stalls out. Thanks, you're going against Aubrey, but you're up by 12. Okay. I think you should be good. Yeah, you should be good. Um, we shall see. We'll be rooting for the same thing then because I need a huge game from Dak Prescott, so I will not be rooting for field goals. I will not be rooting for field goals. Um, all right, so delay a game on the punt team. So now 4th and 24, but I think you got this, TS. Much love to you. Much love to you. Thanks for that. All right, here we go. Punt by the Raiders. Here it goes. And caught inside the 10, running back, and taken down about the 20 or the 21. So the Cowboys will be taking over on the 20, 21-yard line ish, leading by 4. They will be taking over. Hopefully, we get some good passing plays here. Hopefully, TS gets his um, reception for Jake Ferguson. No field goals. I'm along the line. No field goals, too. We cannot do field goals today. All right, let's see what else was interesting from the week. We got the running backs. Sean Tucker, number 1 running back. Christian McCaffrey having another great game. Travion Henderson, great game. Bijan Robinson, Kenneth Gainwell, Travis Etienne. Bayshaw Tuden might have gotten hurt this game, so that's something to look out for Travis Etienne's value. Derrick Henry, Devon Achane, James Cook, Kenneth Walker finally having a game. Devin Singletary getting 2 touchdowns. Jamar Gibbs, Tyrone Tracy, Kyron Williams, Chase Brown, Ty Johnson. All right. Let's see. And that's it for the running backs. That's it for the running backs. All right, let's see what happens next. All right, here we go. Are we going to get a good drive here by the Cowboys? Hopefully. Hopefully the Cowboys can put together a good drive. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's go. Dak Prescott and team taking over. 1st and 10. 1st and 10. Under center. Handoff. Javonte Williams. Nowhere to go. Javonte Williams gets hit. Line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go. 2nd and 10. Javonte Williams gets stuffed. So 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. Shotgun formation. Dak Prescott dropping back, firing. Got Pickens. Fights his way towards a first down. Should have gotten a first down. First down. First down, George Pickens. So after a stuffed run for Javonte Williams, we got 1st and 10 after George Pickens. Under center, Dak Prescott, play action, dropping back, looking, firing, and he's got his man, Ferguson, for a gain of about 5 or 6. They're saying it incomplete pass hits the ground. Nothing there. 2nd and 10 after a try to Ferguson, but no good off the turf. So 2nd and 10 here. We got 2nd and 10. Dak Prescott is under center. And here he goes. Man in motion, dropping back, firing. Pickens again. Pickens getting hit a lot. Gain of 6. Gain of 6. All right. 3rd and 4. 3rd down. 3rd and 4 here. Shotgun formation. High snap. Prescott holds on, fires, finds his man CeeDee Lamb for a first down into Raiders territory across midfield. There you go, CeeDee Lamb. And that's how CeeDee Lamb makes his money. Going up the middle of the field, across the middle of the field in all the space. Dak Prescott exactly who's to throw it to. CeeDee Lamb. Here you go. Under center, Dak Prescott and team 47-yard line. Handoff, run, and first down. Or they're marking it about 2nd and 1. There's going to be 2nd and about half a yard. They marked them just short of the first down. So here we go. 2nd and a half. Under center. Dak Prescott. Handoff again. First down. They get the first down. So 37-ish yard line. 37-ish yard line. Javonte Williams in the backfield. All right, here he goes. Dak Prescott under center. Javonte Williams in the backfield. 1st and 10. Fake. Looking deep. Finding his man. CeeDee Lamb. Taken inside. Close to the red zone. First down. It's a great play. Great play. CeeDee Lamb again going across the middle of the field. All right, 14-yard line. Dak under center. Here it goes. Javonte Williams wrapped up. Line of scrimmage, nowhere to go. 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. All right. Second and 10. They got a shotgun formation, 14-yard line. Snap taken, looking, finding Williams, looking for something, nothing there. It's going to be 3rd and 10. 3rd down. That was a good play, taken away from whatever Dak wanted to find. And nothing there. He had to dump it off. Nothing home for Javonte Williams. And here we go. It's 3rd and 10. Shotgun formation. Here he goes, Dak. He's killing the play. Switching it up. And he says, go. Dropping back. Oh, he broke a tackle. It's going to be short of a 1st down by just about a yard. 4th and 1. 4th and 1. He's not going to take the points. 15 seconds. Here you go. Dallas takes a timeout. Here we go. 4th and 1. Offense is staying out. CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. All right, here it goes. 4th and 1. 4th and 1. Shotgun formation. Sending his man out. Firing. End zone. Touchdown, Ferguson. There you go. There you go, TS. TS got exactly what he needed. He said he needed just a little bit of yards, but he ends up getting the touchdown. He ends up getting the touchdown. So we got Dak hitting Jake Ferguson for the touchdown. Touchdown. You're back to say thank you. I was just shouting you out, TS. I was like, TS got exactly what he was looking for. There's your touchdown. You are welcome. Congrats, my man. Congrats to you and your team on the week. Many celebrations to you. Much love to you. Hope you had a good one on that. Much celebrations to you and your team. Thank you as well, TS. Thank you for your participation and love. Much appreciated, man. Much appreciated. All right, so we got another touchdown there. And hopefully the Raiders can score here. Hopefully the Raiders can score. All right. All right, so we had a touchdown there. 17-6. All right, Raiders, we gotta get a touchdown. You liked it as well. Thank you, TS. Thank you so much for liking the video. Much appreciated. Much appreciated to you, sir. All right, let's get this score and spotlight updated. Dak Prescott after that drive, 11.92 points. And then we got to update the score because the Cowboys scored. Come on, Raiders. Please score a touchdown here. Please score a touchdown here. Get a quick touchdown. Let's get a quick touchdown, Raiders. Come on. You guys can do it. You guys can do it. You don't have to look like you don't know what you're doing out there. You could score the touchdown. It's okay. We gave them enough of a lead now. We gave them enough of a lead. It's time to play actual football, Raiders. That's enough of a lead. You could score the touchdown now. You don't have to keep letting the Raiders win just because they're guests at our home court advantage. Or that's at least what I tell myself on why we're always losing. We have to give them we have to give them a chance. All right. Score is updated. There we go. Score is updated. All right. Score is updated. All right. Let's see. What is coming up this next week? What can we be on the lookout for this upcoming week? Thursday night, we got the Bills versus the Texans at the Texans. Ooh, the great Texans defense versus the great Josh Allen. All right. That will be an interesting Thursday night game. Colts taking on the Chiefs will be a big game. All right, here we go. Here we go. Raiders returning it. And we'll take over on about the 22-yard line. 22 or 23-yard line. All right, here goes. Here he goes. Here it goes. And play action for Geno. Looking deep, finding his man. Let's go. First down. Brock Bowers. Let's go, Raiders. Raiders. Here we go. We got to get a touchdown here, boys. We gave them enough of a head start. We gave the Cowboys enough of a lead. We could play serious football now. So Brock Bowers, first down. So here we go. First down, Brock Bowers. 51 yards for Brock Bowers already. 3 receptions, 51 yards. Under center, Geno Smith. Here we go. Fake the handoff, play action. Smith looking and looking for Tucker. Almost picked off. 2nd and 10. Real close. Geno Smith must have not saw the coverage. That was a good play. Good defensive play. Shotgun formation for Geno Smith. 2nd and 10. Here he goes. Firing. Fat pass came out fast behind Brock Bowers. It's 3rd and 10 now. Uh-oh. 3rd and long. All right, guys, we need to get some good conversions. There's a big play here. I know we like to put it to the last minute here, but 3rd and 10, shotgun formation. Geno Smith. Here he goes. Smith looking, firing, finding his man. First down. Let's go. Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett. The veteran that knows Pete Carroll, that knows Mr. Geno. Tyler Lockett. Here we go. First down, 1st and 10. That's good to see. Makes me happy. Cross midfield now. 49-ish yard line. Here we go. Geno Smith taking the snap, play action, looking. Jeanty with some space, some room. Gain of about 7. About to be about 2nd and 3. 2nd and 2. Gain of about 8. All right. Empty backfield. Geno Smith taking the snap, firing. Jeanty first down in some space. Gain of a few more on about the 30-yard line. All right, let's go. Here you go, Raiders. You guys can make it. There's a face mask. Face mask for Jeanty. All right, here he goes. Under center, Geno Smith. Play action again. Going for it all or going deep, and it's tipped and it's intercepted. No way. No way. Intercepted. No way. Intercepted. Geno Smith off the hands of his receiver. Oh my goodness. Geno Smith. Interception. Ouchie. Wow, wow, wow. Off the hands of his receiver. Off the hands of the receiver. Intercepted. All right. Dang, man. Deflecting. All right, here it goes. Fakes the handoff. Dak looking deep. Going for it all. Almost intercepted himself. Dak almost intercepted it. Opportunity for slightly misthrown, but George Pickens almost getting the long one, almost intercepted. Here we go. 2nd down, 2nd and 10. Handoff, nowhere to go. 3rd down. It's getting taken down to the 2-minute warning here. Here comes the 2-minute warning. Third down. Dallas. All right. Let's see. What else can we go over? So we said Bills Texan game is Thursday. Colts Chiefs game in the morning slate should be a good game. Seahawks should smash the Titans. Vikings Packers might be interesting, but you expect the Packers to win that. Jets versus Ravens, expect the Ravens to win that. Giants versus Lions, expect the Lions to win that. Steelers versus Bears, hopefully it'll be interesting. Aaron Rodgers, I think, has a broken wrist or something, so might be out. Patriots playing the Bengals. Oh, hopefully that will be a good shootout game. Browns playing the Raiders. Jaguars playing the Cardinals. Eagles playing the Cowboys. Falcons playing the Saints. Bucks playing the Rams. Panthers playing the 49ers on Monday Night Football. All right. All right. Let's see what else is going on. We got what changed from last week on the season. Josh Allen overtaking the number 1 spot from Drake May. Patrick Mahomes coming back, having not such a good game, losing. Justin Herbert having his worst game of the year. That was unexpected. Matthew Stafford having not so good. Cowboys 3rd and 10. Here we go. Shotgun stepping back, firing. Prescott. Contact. Flag is thrown. Flag is thrown. Flag in the offensive backfield too. Still might be a hold on the offense and something in the secondary. They brought the rush. Oh. It was a flag on unnecessary roughness. Probably. Pass interference. Pass interference. Automatic first down. Pass interference. And he's the lineman flopping. Lineman flopping like he got punched in the face. All right, here we go. Minute 55 left, 1st and 10. Just past midfield, Dak Prescott under center. Javonte Williams in the backfield. Open run. He's got some running room. But he was down. He either fumbled it or they're saying the ball was down. Ruling on the field is down by contact. All right, here we go. Minute 20 left. Dallas took a timeout. Minute 20 to go. Dak Prescott and team. Trying to score one more time before the half. All right. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Celebrations. Much love. Let's be happy. All right. 32-yard line. Shotgun formation. Moving Ferguson back to the line. Flags everywhere. False start. False start on the offense. Minute 20 left. Here we go. Minute 20 left in the half. 17-6. First and 15 after our false start. Shotgun formation for Dak Prescott. Moving Ferguson in motion. Looking. Prescott firing. And Pickens broke his man. He should be able to get close to the end zone. And he walks it in. Oh my goodness. George Pickens, my man. George Pickens with the 37-yard touchdown. Dak Prescott to George Pickens. Touchdown. Let's go. Dak Prescott. George Pickens. Touchdown. Touchdown. All it took was a one move for George Pickens to break these guys. Wow. There you go. Dak Prescott to George Pickens. Let's go. All right, we got to update the scores. This is going to be 48-yard extra point. It is up, and it is good. There's a flag down. $17.4 points for Dak. All right. All right. 3 touchdowns for Dak. All right, come on, Raiders. At least just score something before the half. You know? You guys, let's score a touchdown before the half. All right, point after stands. We're moving on. All right, hopefully the Raiders can score before the half, even if it's just a field goal. All right. So 24-6, Cowboys are leading. Geno Smith and team have about a minute to try to get a field goal or something before the half, get some momentum, get some courage or something in the heart after that. It's been a tough start, but need to score something before. Oh man. So close, so close. So close, so close. What's up, Genwell? How are you? Your top 3 picks look nice. Who are the top 3 picks? The top 3 picks, as in how We got picked 3 times in this game already. You talking about Justin Herbert's performance from yesterday? Sheesh. Oh man. That was funny. I did not expect the Chargers to get whomped like that. That was not expected. All right. Here, gotta update this score real quick. Man, oh man, hopefully the Raiders can score here. Let's go, Raiders. Let's go, Raiders. George Pickens getting a touchdown. All right, minute 10 left. Here we go. Raiders fielding the ball back, taking it over on the 30-yard line. Dak Prescott, 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns. All right, let's see if the Raiders can do anything here. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Geno Smith, 1 minute and 4 seconds left. Shotgun formation, dropping back, dumping off to Raheem Mostart. All right. 58 seconds left. All 3 timeouts for the Raiders. So here we go. Shotgun formation, 2nd and 6. Raheem Mostart still in. Nearly picked off. 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6. Tyler Lockett the target, but almost picked off. There is a flag. Okay, holding on the defense. Automatic first down. Holding on the defense. There's the hold, Trey Tucker. All right, here we go. 1st and 10. Geno dodging the sack, firing, finding Trey Tucker. Let's go. 35-yard line. Let's go. Clock is still running. 39 seconds left. All right, they're taking a timeout. Good, good, good. First timeout taken. 38 seconds left. We're across midfield now, so we got hopefully the Raiders moving it down. Raiders, let's go. Let's go. Let's score. Let's score here, guys. Make this a not so embarrassing game. So let's see what we can do here. We got 40 seconds left. 1st and 10. We're across midfield. Cross midfield here. So 35-yard line. Shotgun formation. Dropping back. Geno Smith firing. Finding his man. Brock Bowers, it looks like. Another timeout. 34 seconds left. 34 seconds left. Gain of 7. 2nd and 3. All right. Dallas. The defense of Dallas. Can you just give up a touchdown? All right, here we go. 28-yard line, 2nd and 3. Shotgun formation, dropping back, firing, looking for tight end Mare, nothing home. 3rd and 3. 3rd and 3. So here we go. 3rd and 3. 18 seconds left on the play clock. 3rd and 3. Geno Smith, shotgun formation. Here you go. Dropping back. Finding his man. 1st down. Last time out. Last time out. 23 seconds left. 1st down. Raiders will get the ball to start the second half. So hopefully if they can at least manage some points here, and then maybe they can score again after halftime, we can bring it back to a manageable game. Even if it's just a field goal here, 9 and then 16. Yeah, then it'll be a 1-point game. All right, that's what we got to see here. Here it goes, 25-yard line, 23 seconds left. Trey Tucker. Incomplete pass. Call an intentional grounding. Near sack. Very, very near sack. 19 seconds set on the clock. 25-yard line. Geno Smith. 19 seconds left. 25-yard line. Shotgun formation. Flag on the play. Offsides. Defense. So they pick up 5 yards because Jadeveon Clowney was in the neutral zone. All right, shotgun formation. Dropping back. Third and 5, 8 seconds left. So Raiders are going to try again, but you can't complete a ball in bounds because that will not have enough time to spike the ball. So they're going to try one more time for the end zone. All right, timeout taken, final timeout by Dallas. All right, so 8 seconds left. 8 seconds left. 8 seconds left. All right, here we go. 8 seconds left. 20-yard line. Dropping back. Firing. Incomplete for Bowers. Looking for Bowers in the end zone. No good. No good. It was a good idea. Big body. That was close. Everything was set up right. The ball was just slightly off. Here we go. 38-yard attempt. Field goal kick is up. Field goal is good. So at least Raiders have 3 field goals going into the half. All right. So much celebrations. 3 touchdowns for Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. They got the Raiders with 3 field goals. So let's see. Let's go over the points. Where are the points? On the season. Flex positions. Bijan Robinson taking over number 4 place. Josh Jacobs injured. Jamar Chase ended up suspended, huh? Chase received a 1-game suspension for unsportsmanlike conduct. All right. Uh, all right. Much love to everybody. Much love to everybody. Hope y'all had a good week. Gonna wrap this stream up. Celebrations to all of you who won. Hopefully, you all will have a good week 12. But thanks so much for staying tuned in. Much love to all of you. We will see you guys all on Thursday. Peace.